In life, we all face tough situations. Oftentimes, those challenges come from experiencing some level of change that is uncomfortable or unwelcome. In these cases, it's really important to remember that the tough times that you are facing now are temporary and that things will get better. It can be really easy to want to wallow in the sadness and the grief at times like this, but that's not going to help you. So instead, I would like to offer you some coping strategies to help you get through your challenging, tough time that you may be currently facing. I'm Monica Valentine, and I help people to find what they're passionate about and integrate it into a lifestyle and a career that they absolutely love, a life that's full of peace, joy, abundance, and fulfillment. Please hit the subscribe button if you're new to my channel. I release a new video every single week with tips to inspire and motivate you towards that life of your dreams. Now let's get into today's topic. When we're facing a really hard change in our lives and we're really struggling with it, one of the things that can help to get us through those hurt feelings or through the pain or the grief of it is to journal your thoughts. This has a couple of benefits. So one of them is to sort out your thoughts, and then the other is to determine what is causing you the most distress at this time. And of course, the things that cause us the most pain are not the circumstances outside of us, but what's actually happening in our own heads. It's the thoughts that we entertain. We choose what we perceive based on what we're experiencing, and we could just as easily perceive something good or not even good, but indifferent to a situation as we could to attribute something negative to the situation. Of course, it is much easier to go a negative path, but that's lazy thinking. So the idea of journaling helps you to see what your thought process is and work on that thought process. So instead of wallowing and going down a poor me path, instead look at what's causing you pain or discomfort and figure out the ways that where you could flip your thinking, and then also determine whether or not the thoughts that you're having are relevant or true. So let's say, for example, that you're feeling overwhelmingly unhappy about losing a job that you really loved. And you go ahead and you journal and you realize that what's causing you the most distress is the feeling that you were unworthy of the job, that maybe you weren't qualified enough or you weren't as good as another candidate. If you can find ways that it seems true to you, look for the ways that it's absolutely not true as well. Think about the times when you had big wins in that work situation. Think about the praise that you've gotten about the kind of work that you do or the skills that you have. And if you were to discover, for example, that your skills were lacking, then you could take action to resolve that and strengthen yourself, strengthen your skills for the next situation, the next opportunity that might be at hand. And remember that every time something ends, it's just the beginning of something else. So if you lost your job, it's an opportunity to find something that's more suited to you, something that you enjoy more. Maybe the pay is better or there are better benefits. You never know what good could come of the ending of something. And it's really easy for us to go to negative thoughts that we're not good enough or that we were somehow the cause or the blame of a situation that is unsatisfactory to us. And in some cases that might be true, but a lot of times we're harder on ourselves than we should be, and we are truly our own worst critics. What I want to pose to you is that while you might have characteristics that could use strengthening, we all do, that there is really no true good or bad, right or wrong when it comes to you as an individual. There are always going to be people who see your characteristics as wonderful, and then there are going to be those people who could just take them or leave them. And that's okay, because that's just the way it is for everyone. You're never going to be good enough or the best or perfect in any situation. Realize that good and bad, these are arbitrary concepts. These concepts are actually not rooted in any facts. You'll probably end up doing more than one journal entry, because when we're going through really tough times of change, then we end up having good days and bad days. We have our ups, we have our downs. And when you face those bad days or those bad moments within a day, that's another opportunity for you to journal and get your thoughts out. And even if you're journaling about the same topic, you're going to find that your insights can deepen based on what you're feeling at the time and what you put out on the page. You might discover more about the root cause of what's distressing you, and you might also discover more about patterns or themes that are underlying in this situation from previous times, as well as different mindsets that you could adopt to better cope with the situation. When you determine what it is, then it gives you the power to change your future. So if there's something that you're doing or not doing that is leading to distress in your present, then you can work on that to shore up that aspect of your personality so that in the future this doesn't occur again. And if this is a drawn out healing process for you, you can look back at your journal entries in a week's time, 3 weeks time, a month or more down the road, and you can start to see how you're developing, how your mindset is shifting, where you were then versus where you are now. And even if you're still in a place where you're not completely healed months down the road, then at least you can see that you've made progress from where you started, and that can really give you a sense of peace about it, because you know you're going somewhere. At least you're not staying stuck. Another thing that you can do if you are in extreme distress is to use a presence technique. So while you're experiencing overwhelming sadness, anger, fear, whatever emotion you're experiencing, then this is the technique to use. So let's say, for example, that you are experiencing sadness, and you address it. You say, how am I feeling in this moment? And your answer is, I'm feeling sad. And then the next question is, what is causing me to feel sad? And your answer might be, I just got laid off from this job that I love, and I feel like I will never amount to anything. Okay. And then, so from there you say, it's okay for me to feel this way. It's okay that I feel sad in this moment because I feel like I will never amount to anything. And so you're acknowledging the feeling and you're making it acceptable. From there, you want to ask yourself, what's the next thing that I can do in this moment? What's the next step in this very second, in this very moment? What can I do right here and right now? And if the answer is to cry, then cry. If the answer is to scream or go for a run, do that. And you can do this over and over again. So if your reaction is to cry, as you're crying, and you're still sad, you say to yourself, now I'm crying. That's okay. It's okay that I'm doing this, and this is what I'm doing right now. And you can repeat the process over and over and over again. So maybe your emotions at some point shift to anger, and then you can ask yourself, how am I feeling right now? I'm feeling angry. Why am I feeling angry? Because I just got laid off from this job, and I feel like I'll never amount to anything, and it pisses me off. And so, okay, it's okay to feel that way. I understand that I feel this way because I have a reason, the reason being, right, what we just said. What's the next thing I can do right now? I can go punch the punching bag in the garage. So that's a presence technique to help you get through the most amplified emotions that you might feel as a result of going through something traumatic. Another thing you can do to heal in times of change is to listen to inspiring videos or audios, or read inspiring or motivational books related to the topic that you're finding to be the most challenging in this situation. So if you are feeling fearful or anxious as a result of this change, then go ahead and get on YouTube and look for inspirational videos and meditations on the concept of courage. And this is just an example. There are many videos and audios and books that you can find on topics that will give you a source of inspiration and motivation in really tough and challenging times. And when you're listening to these things, if something stands out to you, like a phrase or a quick sentence that stands out to you that gives you some sense of yes, I identify with this so much, and it feeds me just enough to keep me going, then pull that out of whatever you're listening to or reading and write it somewhere that you can see it. I like to write on my bathroom mirror with a wet erase marker in times when I really need a reminder of maybe a mindset shift or just a mindset in general that I'd like to adopt for the day or the week or whatever, and put it on the mirror or put it somewhere that you will see it as often as possible during the day. And this snippet of this mindset shift or snippet that you are going to put in front of you, it can be changed every day. You can change it every week. Basically, whenever it loses power for you, you know that you don't need it anymore. Most likely because it's ingrained itself into your psyche and you've assimilated it. That's when maybe you'll hear something else that pops out at you, or you'll read something else. And it's time once again to put it right back in front of you, this new phrase or sentence, and again, internalize it. This is a really great way to grow in your mindset, to grow in strength and character, because really when we're facing tough times, it's a perfect opportunity for us to be shaped into something greater than we started out as. Imagine yourself as a piece of driftwood and you're going along in the ocean and you're getting knocked around and it's tough. You know, you're getting bumped and you're getting bruised and you're getting scraped and tossed around. But in the process, you're going from a piece of driftwood, but you're being whittled down into something else. And you can let the challenge that you're facing turn you into someone who is bitter and angry and resentful, or you can let it give you strength and courage and determination and willpower. You can let it turn you into something beautiful and strong. And I hope that you do take this opportunity as a time of growth to become a better version of yourself. When we're facing really tough times, it's easy to want to indulge ourselves in junk food. We want to go get that pizza, the hamburgers, ice cream, cookies, all the really feel-good foods, the delicious, easy to grab, feel-good foods. But now is not the time to indulge in those as much. Granted, go ahead and indulge yourself one night when you're feeling really low, but don't make it a habit as you're going through this process of grieving the loss of something or a change that has occurred in your life. And the reason is that the more toxic foods that you're eating, the more crappy you're going to feel physically, and whether you know it or not, okay? Sometimes this can be take a back seat to the things that are going on in our heads, and our crazy lives can pull our attention from the fact that our bodies are just not feeling good. And when your body isn't feeling good, then it affects your mood as well. There is absolutely a mind-body connection. So if you feed your body well with high quality, fresh foods, good foods, a variety, get your nutrients, that's when your mindset will lift a little bit. It'll take the fog off of your brain, and it'll give you a lighter, cleaner, it'll give you an energy and an edge, a positive thing altogether. Something else that you can do in difficult times of change is to immerse yourself in a new project, particularly one that is meaningful. So what are you passionate about, and what are you really interested in or curious about? Is there something that you would like to learn or do or have or be? Now is the time to look toward that, set goals for yourself, and take steps every day toward making that vision a reality. There's nothing better than doing this, and then as you're progressing, looking back and seeing that you have come a long way, or at least a little bit of a way in a process, and it marks time for you. So if you're in a grieving process currently because something has happened that has changed the course of your life currently, then this is a process too. The healing is a process. Simultaneously, you're working on something positive, something new and positive in your life, which is also a process. And so as you're making progress on that new project, it marks the time and it shows you the progress that you've made from where you came when that thing happened to where you are now. And you can see that this just didn't happen yesterday. You'll feel good about the progress that you've made. You'll feel good about yourself. You'll start to see the passing of time, and you'll start to realize that it's okay to let this go, because there are new and beautiful beginnings on the horizon and that are in progress. When you're grieving the loss of something, or you are thrown off completely by a big change in your life, know that it's okay to be upset and to feel what you're feeling. Allow yourself to go through that. Now, I don't mean that it's a good thing to wallow, but I mean, if you're faced with a sudden surge of emotion, then it's okay to let it flow through you and to let it go like it's just flowing through you. So breathe through it. Don't grip too tightly against pushing it away. Don't hold on to it too tightly. The idea is that an emotion is like an electrical current. We are a conductor of emotion. So when we experience an emotion, we don't fight it. We don't hold on to it. We let it flow through us. And it just as easily as it happened, that it dawned on us, that it hit us, that's as easily as we can let it go. Also, don't let anyone tell you to just get over it. That's a very demeaning statement, and no one knows exactly what it is that you're facing at this time. So while I don't mean that you should hold on to your pain for the sake of holding on to it, there is no set time frame when you should be over something that is upsetting to you. It happens in its own time. And the best thing that you can do for yourself is to use these coping strategies and to go easy on yourself, to not beat yourself up about the fact that you're going through these things, that you're feeling what you're feeling. Know that it's okay to be where you are at currently at this time. And if you're at a point where you're grieving so hard that you feel like you can't make it, know that it's okay to take it a second at a time, a minute at a time, an hour at a time, a day at a time. Remember, you are strong. You can get through this. You will get through this. And when you do, you're going to be stronger and wiser and better off for it. That's it for this video. If you're going through a really challenging time, I hope that this video has been of use to you, that it has given you some ideas for how you might cope, as well as some comfort in knowing that you're not alone out there and that you absolutely can get through this a day at a time with these strategies and potentially with the help of a counselor. Please do reach out to a counselor if you feel you need help. Your life is very important. There are people who love you, who will absolutely be affected if you were to not be here anymore. Take care of yourself and take care of the people around you. If you know someone who's going through a hard time, please share this video with them. It's very important that we look out for one another. Life can be very tough, and without the love of our friends and our families, it would be even more challenging. We absolutely need each other, and so go ahead and share the love. And I will see you in the next video. Until then, take care of yourself and take care of each other.